Welcome to episode 17 of Straight to It. I'm here with my guys, my brothers, and we hold it down as the trifecting team of this podcasting thing. That is Jason, that is Mike, and I'm Clem Boogie. So, here, let's get started. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a nice topic. Well, a growing theme, I should say, in where we we live in society where you're judged, you're looked at in many different ways. um, People have societal roles. um, Everyone has there are certain ideologies that they might favor and might go by. And I think it's at a standpoint where people want to be free. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be told what to do. So before we get started, why don't you like, share, and subscribe? Because we do share some good topics and we're talking from our viewpoints. And tonight we actually do have a female voice. I don't know if we can see her on camera. Mimi, are you there? Okay. She's on mute, but she's there.
Hi,
All right, Mimi. Thank you.
how are you?
Um, and I know from a lot of the times of a lot of the topics we do, people have said we needed a female voice, someone to give us pushback. So I'm glad that Mimi's here to help us out with that. But to start us off, Jay, why don't you do it?
Hey, what's up, everybody? So yeah, as we understand, the topic of submissive and high value are there are opinionated stances to it, and there's also definitives. So if we ever look at dictionary textbook and we want to carry that, I think that we've done a lot wrong, um, because the topic wasn't really popular until the late what's his name? Kevin Samuels
Hmm.
made it a household topic. I
Hmm.
don't remember hearing people talk about that during MySpace, Black Planet, Tagged. I don't remember nobody talking about these topics back then. Now, amongst friends, we may have used different jargon and called it different, but I want to start with a slight what I believe the definition of high value is. Um, I believe that high value it has to do with confidence, it has to do with integrity, a high level of ambition, an incredibly warm, high level of emotional intelligence, and the ability to be a natural leader. If not, um, one who has learned to be a leader through the journey of life. A high value man has to exude some type of confidence within himself. I think it's very important that you know, it's not arrogance. It's not looking down on other people. It's not constantly bringing up to other people, uh, you're a simp or whatever other these other things that people try to do to step on others to make themselves look high. Um, Being high value isn't a stance that elevates you by stepping on someone else's throat. I think it's about a security from within, and then to use your leadership skills to help others that are in positions that could be elevated. That's what I believe it is to be. And then, there is the financial component that people tend to always run to, right? Oh, the 1%, the this, the that. And I think it's difficult to define a specific financial requirement. I think that it varies depending on the factors: location, industry, uh, family. I think, generally speaking, a high value man is just financially stable, responsible, comfortable income, maybe a solid savings plan, some investments to help secure his financial future. But I don't think that someone with $10 million is higher value than someone with $100,000 if they're not living a righteous life. And, I think that's where we get skewed in this topic. People have heard others talk, they have taken shorts and snippets from entire conversations, and they made this topic such a popular topic. But I think it's been a misinformed topic. So that's why I wanted to start with that.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna let
Oh, Mimi,
Mimi
go.
step in.
Okay, Mimi, go ahead.
Um, Hi guys. Sorry, I was late. Other things coming on.
That's fine.
Um, hmm. High value. I kind of agree with you, Jason. Oh man, this thing. I'm not tech savvy, so please excuse me. I'm trying to get this screen thing going. But anyway, yeah. I want to hear more from you guys first before I kind of like get into my opinions about it or about what you just said.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
definitely, the Kevin Samuels guy, I wish he was around before his time because he definitely is somebody I miss, and he put me in check, and I'm not even close to where I should be as a woman, and I feel like he definitely put people in check, and I hate that he left. But anyway, I'll listen to you guys for a little bit, and then I'll jump back in.
All right.
All right. So, see, for me, like the things that you said, Jay, of course, are definitely good qualities and things of that nature. But like I said, in regards to submissive or high value, I would never really separate the two. You know what I'm saying? And and part of it to me is that the reason why things become so much of an issue now, as you said, it wasn't like that before, is because everybody's trying to be of one particular standard of it. You know what I'm saying? Now you see it as this is what submissive is supposed to be. This is
Mhm.
what high value is supposed to be. So because everybody sees it that way and people don't see it going in that direction, then it's not right. Like with me, well, couldn't or whatever. I do the poly thing at times and stuff like that. And people try to direct it a certain type of way. Well, do you make a certain amount of money to be able to live this life? Do you do things like so much stuff now go back to money. So that's the same thing with submissive. When you talk to a lot of women about submissiveness and stuff like that, it usually goes into money.
All right.
Their reason for being submissive has related to a man providing a certain something for them to be that way, instead of it just being that natural connection with whoever that person is, and it is what it is, whether it's a money value or not. So that's what I say is part of the issue now with dating and stuff like that. And that's how it's never been for me, where I need to, or I deal with someone and they do the things that I ask them to do in regards to what I can do for them, basically financially. If I can cover all the bills and this, that, and third, they're gonna be submissive. But if it come a point that I can't do that, then you're not submissive. Then that's not truly who you are. You're doing it for money or financial reasons and stuff like that. I don't want to be with nobody like that. So again, that's why I never could never, like I said, I guess I do it on purpose, whatever it is. I'm blind to certain things, and I do what they say, like the horses. I do that on purpose. Like I'm just not hearing certain stuff. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And when it comes to that, just like with me, submissive or high value, it's all in again what you feel is high value. Like I said, I got friends that do certain things and live a certain life. To me, I don't consider high value, but to them it's high value. And their communities is high value. You know what I mean? The life that they live and the way they move about and stuff like that. And again, it's about being at peace, man. And that's the thing I've gotten to lately about all of that stuff. So the submissive part is supposed to be on both ends, and it should be high value. However, we're trying to, bring the two together. But again, if you're not doing it naturally for who you are, even with being high value, if that's not naturally who you are, you're trying to force it. Like I say now with a lot of women, I'm like, a lot of these females is generic.
Mhm.
Fine, fine. But the way you move, you're moving off of a blueprint, off of what you see somebody else do. So that's how you're trying to be. It's not naturally who you are. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, end of the day, like my shit was always natural. It was never a forced situation and stuff like that. Like a lot of people are coming into their own, you know what I'm saying? So you get it, they're still trying to fill themselves out at an older age and stuff like that. But again, like the submissive part, like I said, again, it's just because it's new, it's out there. You know what I mean? It's that's the word. Just like what was the other word? Like toxic. What's the other N word? N word. Uh, not no, what's the word? Narcissist.
Wow.
Everybody was going crazy with that word and stuff like that. So that's what it is. And again, honestly, a lot of this stuff with to me, a lot of the stuff where the submissiveness came out and what became such a big topic is that it was spoken of in poly. It wasn't spoken in just regular relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Mono relationships, it wasn't a topic. That's just seen of what it was supposed to be. But now, when someone has more than one wife or whatever, then all this submissiveness stuff kind of started sparking his head as far as like the conversation and stuff like that. So again, a lot of stuff, a lot of females, a lot of men judge how they deal with a person in regards to financially right now. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Certain women mess with men because of what this man could do for them. They may like him, not, they not head over heels. They like him, but it's also this guy can provide a better life for me, and he's willing to provide a better life for me. And even some of these guys know, like, I know she's not feeling me like that, but we gonna make this work and it's gonna grow. And in time, it usually do. Just being around somebody like that and y'all taking care of each other, whatever it is, you end up growing into it. But it was never based off really possibly liking each other. It was more of like, you can do this, I can do that. We can kind of make this work. So that's what I see a lot with relationships and stuff. And that's what's being based off the submissiveness is saying this. Because like I said, at the end of the day, like I was watching something and like really be honest about this. If I'm taking care of everything, there should be no issues with anything on the woman's behalf. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're dealing with someone who got a lot of money and like really taking care of everything. Well, all you do is just wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what is really crazy. So to get any type of issues in your relationship when you doing all that as a man, that's when it's crazy. And that's the thing I can't take. Like I said, like I don't have no problem taking care of a woman, but it's going to be exactly what I want. I'm not taking care of somebody that, like I said, like, yo, I want a good meal. I don't want no chick that could kind of cook. Like that's fucked up. But like she might be cool, but if all she could make is rice, corn, and some chicken wings, I'm kind of good. I want somebody who could really cook. And even when I get some money, I would try and do a chef thing, but you know what I'm saying? I want somebody who really cook. I want somebody who's naturally who they are. I don't want nobody who's trying to be who I want them to be. And I think I've gotten that a lot in my time. Women know what I want and they try to be what I want, but that ain't naturally who they are.
Right. Mimi, you ready to step in?
Yeah. You see me shaking my head, right?
Go ahead, Mimi.
Wow. So the thing is, my point of view is I feel like it's the generation we live in now that women expect so much from being, oh, give me. They're not looking at it like what can I offer to you? Everybody's trying to live up to the standard of being a love and hip hop chick, and looking like them, dressing, so they want the same type of lifestyle, I guess you could say. I'm not too deep in the poly life, like how that works, so I can't really get into that, Mike. But I hear what you're saying. But if me personally, if you're gonna have to change who you are naturally to fit somebody else and only them, to me, I feel like you're doing it for the wrong reason, and you're never gonna be happy, and it's gonna be some point where you're gonna hit the wall, like, and everything's just gonna blow, to me. I was having a conversation with a barber Friday night about basically the same thing about I pay chicks. I would give a girl $400 if I like her and I want to get to her, and I'm like, what kind of woman you dealing with? Because like, why would you have to pay somebody to be with you or want to be around you? Like, if you're gonna be with somebody, it should be naturally, right? Like, if they like you, they like you. If they don't, and the cooking part, as far as the cooking part, I mean,
It's just a preference. It's just a preference right now.
No, but it's a good one though. I mean, I feel like everybody should be equipped to cook.
Yeah.
Especially women. I feel like I'm teaching my kids. I have two kids, a girl and a boy, and he's 13 and he's in the kitchen, and I'm teaching him basic things like, before you even start cooking, you got to clean this kitchen first. Like, keep it clean, get your stuff and then clean as you go along. And when you're done, put the stuff away, wash the pot,
Right, right.
and make sure the dishes are like everything is washed, the stove is wiped down. That's my thing because I'm old school,
Hmm.
and the thing is a lot of people, like, this is a deep topic because I could go on and on and on. A lot of people, I think, I think Babyface messed it up for everybody when he's talking about, I'll pay your rent, I'll buy your clothes, I'll cook your dinner too. Like, everybody's stuck on that, like, oh, what can you do for me, what can you do for me? And then females feel like they could just bring vagina and then that's their ticket in.
Hmm.
And to me, that would make, to me, that gets boring, that's stale. That's, like you said, you don't want a woman that just cooks chicken wings and corn and every day. You want somebody that could throw some ribs, well, if you eat pork, I'm just saying,
Hmm.
throw some ribs on, do a baked chicken, do a soup, whip it up different
Yeah.
styles. But you know again, it depends on the person, and if they want to make you happy.
Right.
Look, the thing with it as well, like I said, and this is, like I said, I don't really go into the signs or whatever it is, but like I said, me being a Virgo, they talk about certain things, and like I said, I think all signs, everybody look at stuff. It's just who you are, how you look at things. You could be a
Hmm.
Virgo, you could be a Gemini, whatever it is. It's just how you look at stuff. So again, like I said, in most scenarios, if a man or whatever it is taking care of majority of everything and so on and so forth, then yeah, like you got enough time to even take on these skills. You know what I'm saying? To learn how to do some of these things if you care about the person. And that's why I say where the change come in. Like I said, I care about this woman and it's something that she likes that I may not be into. As time goes, I'm gonna work my way into it. I'm gonna make the change because I know this is something that she may be into. She might like to take hikes. I don't like doing that, and maybe I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into that. Because I feel like that's what makes it work, and that's what I tell a lot of people. And when I hear that from women, when they're like, "Well, I'm not changing for no man," I'm like,
And that's
"That's
what you want.
crazy," because any relationship you in, you have to change for the person. And
Right.
if you're changing for the person, like you said, like you were saying, like if you got to change, you're changing in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
This person is trying to help you in a positive
Make
way. Like I
changes,
said,
don't
when
change,
it, yeah, like if a, and I'm gonna say this, like I said, as we said before, we can only speak because we're men and we only deal with women. But
Mhm.
a man is encouraged to continue to push himself and move himself up the ladder in regards to most of his relationships.
Right.
A woman is not. It is okay. And that's for some, and the majority. Hey, just do this. That's it. I got everything else. You know what I'm saying? They not, yo, me, let's do this. You working here, yo, you got an opportunity to be supervisor. What you need to do, how you need me to help you to get to that. You got to get to work a little earlier certain days. Cool. I'll make sure I get the kids together, do what I can. But see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of women ain't really ready
Teamwork.
for that because then when that happens, you got no other reasons. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And that's the type of situation I need on my end as far as me dealing with somebody to be like, yo, you trying to hit this goal? Yo, you trying to make 20,000 in the next, month, 2 months? How you want to do it? Cool. What you need me to do? You need me to make sure breakfast is done? Like that's the type of person I need.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, that's both of us being submissive because, like I said, it's going to come back around when it's something that you may need to do on that. And hey, I'm going back to school. I need to blah 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 blah.
Right.
Cool. I got the other stuff. Dinner, this, that, and the third is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's how I feel like a lot of people, or like I said, I hear it overall. They talk about they don't want to change. You gotta change in order to fuck with somebody. So I need the submissive and the high value. I want it all. But it can be
Right.
given if people feel like it can. It's just in everything. It's just in your effort. If
Right.
you give an effort in whatever it is that other person wants to like feel comfortable in the relationship, in time you'll continue to grow. So like I said, your wife may like flowers or whatever. You might not be a person who remembers stuff like that. But as you kind of gently remind it and stuff like that, and it's something that you want to do, the next you know, it becomes a habit
Right.
because you doing this, even though you may not, you doing this for your person and you know that's making them happy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a habit. So again, like I said, if a lot of people take the dollar value off of
The word
relationship
value.
situations. Like they're not doing this because of this. They're not doing this because of that.
Right.
Even in the like I said, the working thing. Well, I work this, that, and the third. You work this, that. We both work, right? Cool.
Hmm.
Not to say this. Can this guy really cook? So maybe that just got to be your responsibility, even though on top of that, and this person just takes care of something else that's extra heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like you do all the cooking, I got all the laundry and stuff like that, or whatever, the other little things around the house or whatever it is, because cooking ain't that particular person's thing. But also, again, don't do it where I've been with this person. I'm not trying to learn to lighten the load. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Say
Like,
that.
I know, let me start trying to pick up some things to balance this out for this person and
Mhm.
stuff
Right.
and whatnot. Like I said, I've had situations where women wanted to do so much and didn't want me to do anything. And it was a problem because I like to cook. I like to clean. Yo, chill, I got
Mhm.
it. Oh, let me do it. No. Like we would have situations about that with one particular relationship I was in. Like, well, I know you come home after me and this, that, and the third. I just try to make sure it's cool, but I'll cook tonight. Don't worry about it. And like I said, some women really take being able to do stuff for that man as, and I get it. But if you understand someone like me who likes to do things for himself sometimes and don't mind cleaning and doing all this stuff, let me be. Let me do this. Don't take that away from me because that stuff I like to do as well. But yeah.
Um, I think from my standpoint, we always have a common theme, right? Like there's society, then there's both Mimi and Mike had mentioned what TV shows and how it presents. I think a lot of it is that the simple meanings of certain words, submissive, it's taken on a different connotation because it's looked at as, you know, you're talking down to someone. Someone is your slave, or someone is a simp, or, and it goes on and on and on and on. And high value is usually linked to the dollar amount that you make. I mean, you could be a baller, you can be a celebrity, you can be whatever, but it doesn't support necessarily the connection. And I think that's what gets lost in a lot of these relationships. The connection and the ability to adapt to a different person, to understand that, you know, it's like what we say all the time. Like you're not going to be in your game all the time. It's never 50-50, right? It's going to be 70-30. It could be, however, whatever ratio you want it to be, just as long as it equals out to equal effort. But I think with how everything is being looked at and how everyone has their, input, someone is always doing something wrong. Someone is at fault. Someone's lacking something. No one wants to work. That's why you see a lot of relationships just, fall by the wayside. I think a lot of times everyone says effort, 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 but what truly is effort? Because if you're not really, one person can't work at it. I mean, you can beg and like, you know, just yell at your partner or your person or whoever they are in your life. If they're not willing to put forth that effort, then clearly they don't value it in the same way that you do. Um, I think a lot of times we, especially now, present times, we lack conversation. People don't communicate. I think a lot of times people want you to just get it. Like you're supposed to be this mind reader. It doesn't work that way. I think a lot of times you have to reach within, because I know it's not in a lot of people's natural nature to approach someone to do it. But you have to also understand this is someone you share your life with, or you're building a life with. And, it's hard. Even though it's hard, you have to adapt to it. Whether it's compromising or comprehending or whatever the case may be, it takes effort. And it all comes with time, a lot of patience, which a lot of people also don't have. Listening, because we as creatures, we're creatures of habit. We like to talk and talk about our frustration and not be overly concerned about how that person is receiving it or what that person is going through. So we automatically assume. can't always be that way because those things kind of fall by the wayside and it never turns into a success story. But that's fine. There are a lot of people who have money. There are also a lot of jerks that have money. When you have money, you're the same person. The only difference is you have money. It doesn't matter what that case may be. You can be top 1% or whatever the case may be. There are people who don't make anything, and they're the coolest and greatest human beings you'll ever be around, and you can share experiences with. Like, value should not equate to finance, at least in these terminologies. I think a lot of times expectations are like far-fetched. It's fine to talk about it, but it doesn't mean you took a loss if you never reached it. The whole point is to work at it. And, being that work is the operative word, not a lot of people these days want to work at it. Some people are fed up, and rightfully so. Someone feels they're not valued enough or they're not being heard. They're liable to walk away and shut it down. And that's fine. It comes over time. But you have to be able to reinvent yourself. Every time you walk into a room or you walk into someone's life, it's different. It's a new beginning. It's a new platform. You have to be able to present yourself where it's conducive for the relationship. Whether you compromise or not, you're bringing something to the table. That's how it's going to generate and unite a union. So I don't know. It's much more, it's not going to get resolved overnight, but here we are. Jay, go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I know for 100% fact is, when you have a sub in a relationship, right? So one of the two partners is the submissive partner.
Mhm.
I'll tell you 100% that I fully believe that if money is the root of why your other partner is the sub,
Mhm.
you're going to end up heartbroken, in court, cheated on, disrespected. And I'm going to give you an example because I know this. I'm in a very successful, happily marriage. My wife, she trusts anything I say because I make her feel safe and secure, not because I swing a dollar over her head. There's a huge
Right.
difference. If you want someone to be submissive to you, they have to feel safe doing so, not hoping there's a monetary gift at the end of that journey, right?
Right.
They have to feel safe. So I learned this, which is going to sound like I'm throwing some old left field joint in there. I actually learned this because many moons ago in different relationships in the past, I used to hang in BDSM circles.
Right.
And I was always the dom, and I've dealt with a lot of subs, and I've been in a lot of crazy shit. And we all have, right? But I need to bring that up. I didn't never want to bring that up, but I need to bring that up because that's how I've learned the importance of the sub is far more important than the dom, because
Mhm.
the sub is actually the person who has the power, because they're giving you everything. They're trusting you with everything. They're allowing you to lead.
Yeah.
Not now, if someone's only allowing you to lead because you can shower them with some dollars, you're going to get backstabbed. You're going to get shitted on behind your back. You're going to get disrespected. It's the same way like you do with your boss when you go to work. You're smiling, you're happy with the boss in their face because you know there's a check coming. But behind their back, when you're like, yo, I hate this dude, that's going to be your relationship if you center it, swinging dollars around.
Mhm.
Now, it, if you don't care, if you have no emotional attachment and you just want to come home to some stuff, that's dope. Do your thing, man. Like anybody out there that's for them, do your thing. But bless you, Mike. No, no,
Bless
of
you.
course, bless you. But if you are someone that is looking for a real partner
Mhm.
and you're looking for something long term, you're looking for someone to take care of you in your downs because you're not going to be up every day.
Right.
You're going to have some moments. And if you need a partner, then you need to learn some things about yourself and you need to learn some things about people and you need to learn how to navigate through life without swinging dollars in front of people's faces, and let people genuinely learn who you are, and let people give a shit about who you are as a person and not what can I get from him. Yeah, I'll cook for him because I know at the end of the day I'm getting a Birkin bag. So
Right.
fuck it, I'm gonna cook for this dude. That's not how you're gonna have a healthy relationship. And that's not how you should raise your daughter. I always tell people this. Um, if you want to have a woman, I tell guys this, if you want to have a woman to at your every beckon and call, right? And you come home, she cooks, cleans. You want sex, she has to give it to you, even if she has a headache. Uh, every little thing that you want, she must adhere to because you're rich and she's not. My question to that is, are you going to raise your daughter to be your mother, to be your wife? Because if you're not going to raise your daughter to adhere to a man's every whim, then you're not really doing it because you think it's the right way that women should live. You're doing it because you're selfish. You're not. You're kind of trashy, and you just want someone to adhere to your every whim in some type of slavish kind of manner. If you're not going to raise your daughter to be the woman that you're looking for, if you're not going to raise your daughter to adhere to every man's whim, to get on her knees at beckon and call, and to cook, clean, and do all that for the man, not for her, not because she should do that, not because every adult should know how to do that, but if you're not doing that to raise her to do that for a man, then you shouldn't have those expectations because, it's quite hypocritical. I raise my children how I believe humans should be.
Mhm.
I raised them to have high levels of emotional intelligence. I raised them to care about others. I raised them to care about themselves primarily. I raised them to have respect, to have compassion. I raised them in a way that I believe humans should walk the earth. I don't raise them. I would never raise a girl to, you know what? F your dreams. Go find a rich guy, cook clean, do whatever he tells you because he's going to take care of you. I'd never do that. You know why? Because if I did, I don't think I would have loved the girl. I don't think men that would raise their daughters like that love their daughters as much as they think they do. That's just my opinion. That doesn't make it true, but that's how I believe as a father of four, who, I would never raise none of my children to believe that someone owes them anything that they weren't willing to put into the world.
Right. Mimi?
I love that. I absolutely love that. Um, wow, I said a lot, but everything that made so much sense in just I had so many things I wanted to say just now, and I'm just nodding my head like, wow, because that's kind of like how I feel as well with my kids. But back to the being submissive part, I feel like, for instance, when we see like wedding videos, right, and they're doing their vows, and the first thing when they say to love, to cherish and obey, I think that's the line. Everybody turns around and starts giggling and cackling, like to be obedient to me is not a bad thing. It's it's just the way that the word is taken out of context now. It's more like, oh, I'm like you said, like I'm a slave. But I feel like it's not even about being a slave. It's I want to make you happy.
Right.
So I'm not gonna change me as a whole, but I'm gonna make changes that could fit your happiness. If I know you like beans and rice and whatever you like, I'm gonna make it for you. I'm gonna make you happy in a sense, but at the same time I'm not gonna leave myself out either. But like I said, a lot of people, and I had so many voice notes that I made, and I'm just getting into this, and I'm like, wait, I said a lot of things that made sense, and you guys said things too, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. And now they're kind of like gone, but yeah, they're gonna come back as I go. But yeah, I feel like women feel know that they're not. It's a bad thing to be submissive to a man and want to. Oh, you said the word lead. That was a word I said in one of my voice notes too. Like to lead. If you men have to be good leaders. And to me, I feel like it's my role as a woman to be the reason. Like, okay, I wanna lead her into this relationship, and like, like I think Mike said it earlier, to make like the relationship better. Like, what can you do? Like, what can we do together? Like, if I, how can I help you make your goals? Like, how, remember you said that, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, about like, oh, I'll cook, get up early and take you to work. What do you got to do to get to that point in your life? Like, so it's like a teamwork effort.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, I feel, are so selfish now. It's all about what can I get? What is for me, 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 me. And the minute you can't um, reach that level for them, it's like, oh, you a bum nigga. Like, no, I'm not. That's not how I feel like you should be. I'm not looking for somebody that's gonna take care of me. I would look for somebody that's more like, okay, well, do you have your GED? How far have you went in college? Like, what's your level of education? Like, do you think you should take a class because you want this type of job? So let's do the class. Let's get the GED over. I'll help you with the classes, and then let's work on it. But other people, I feel like that's being submissive as well, because like in the meaning, and I looked it up several times, and it's always coming down to obedient or passive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, submissive people see whips and chains and just like completely not themselves, and that's not how I look at it.
Right. I think a lot of it, like we're in a place now where, you hear of a lot of people looking for independence. Uh, a lot of females talking about they're independent and they can do whatever. And, rightfully so. There's a lot of female executives and things like that, women who are making six figures and above, and they don't have, you know, that persona of them where it's like they have to wait on a man because they can do for themselves, they can fend for themselves. But I think there's, with that, I always feel like there's going to be something missing. And it's similar to us men. Like when it comes to women, um, you know, or our life, our total being, we can have all that we have. Like we can work and get to the top of the, corporate ladder and things of that nature. We can acquire and, gain all the financial that we've, worked for, and all the money in the bank and things like that. But there's always going to be certain elements that are going to be missed. I don't think there's anything that can, at least for me, for men, period, a woman's touch, a woman's company, just her aura, you miss it. It's always needed. Like, yes, we're prideful, but I think there's certain situation, it helps soften us, and I'm not saying it makes you like a clown or anything like that, but you need that. It's just like when you're younger, or even now, if you go out somewhere, what's the rule of thumb? You don't want to go to a place where there's a whole bunch of men there, because that's not a party. You're just going to be like, okay, I'm out of here in like 5 minutes. I don't need to be here. You want to go somewhere where there's females there, right? You want to mingle. You want to be able to interact. It's different. It's not like where like you talk with your guys and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a time and place for all that. You can go to a sports bar, or with us, we just talk on the phone. It's not something we need to really put forth that much effort to do. But I think when it comes to females, and where it comes to high value, and how I understand it is like, for them, it's a lot based on independence. Um, they have a low tolerance for a lot of things that maybe someone who's, not emotionally as strong or as tough can deal with. And it changes landscape, because there are women that there are a lot of women now that make more money than men. So I don't think financial should be like a staple. I think the value tag, it's how you receive it. It's only a mix that works with you and your partner. I think a lot of things get taken out of context, because there are people on the outside looking in, whether it's different podcasts or pseudo experts telling you how you're supposed to be living your life X, Y, and Z. But only you can tell, and only time can tell what you want to do. Mike, go ahead.
So to hit on kind of all of them, like what Jay was saying, one, being in that particular lifestyle and stuff like that, you are open to those things a little bit more as well too, because there's just and like I said, it's just a level of trust. And like I said, I never looked at it that way in regards to that. I knew it, but the way he said it, well, like I said again, that person has not all the power, but you are in control. They're giving you the option to say, this is what you tell me what to do, and this is what we're going to do to make this work. So now it's on you.
Right.
If it's not really working, it's kind of on you after that. If this person is giving you full, control of how they move and how they do things, because they're doing everything that you feel is needed for us to work or for this situation to work. They're giving you that power. So on that note, yeah, that's something to think about and whatnot. And like I said, again, my submissive, and that's the thing about poly or anything and everything with me, is that it's all in your interpretation of who you're dealing with. And like I said, that's what the problem is, because now, like I said, they're trying to have one definition of something. And this is how it should be for everybody who's saying they're submissive. This is how it should be for that's how I feel like a lot of people look at a lot of different situations. If this is this, then this is how you got to do if you're saying you're this. And if you're this is how you got to do if you're saying you're that, or whatever it is. So again, the submissive thing, again, is all in how you want to do things. So let's say, like I said, I was watching the thing again, like the who eats first, the kids, the this, the that, the that, the that, the that. And I used to always tell people, like, the man, if he's the one sitting down, if you're making the plates, he should be the first one to eat. If I'm making the plates, she's going to be the first one to eat. Because if we ain't good, then we can't take care of the kids.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And it goes down. And the same thing with elders. If we at a table and my mom's or the elder's going to get their plate first. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. So it ain't really a man or a woman thing. It's just a hierarchy or whatever, they want to say it. But like I said, the elder, we at the dinner table, the elder is going to get their plate first. Then down the line or whoever else, the kids get there last, and so on and so forth. So again, like I said, being submissive. I'm making dinner, I'm feeding everybody else. I ain't making dinner and then I ain't gonna go sit down and then be like, yo, go make everybody plates. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do that. Right. I'm making dinner, I'm feeding everybody. You making dinner, you feeding everybody. But again, that's what I said. Some women want to be old school, but new school at the same time. And don't know how to blend the two, put it that way. That's right. I feel I know how to blend the two. I know how to be up to date with putting a hand in and helping, but also making sure I do my end as far as what's conceived of what a man should be doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And again, a lot of people don't understand that concept because, and it's just like with anything, they don't really strive to understand it. They're not really putting forth an effort to, they just like, I don't do this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing that, like, this is just what you gonna get. Like, that kills me all the time. Yeah. But again, that's me. For someone else, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, like I said, like, oh, the beach gonna get whatever body I give it. No, I'm not out there with my shirt off right now. I got to do some work before I'm out there with my shirt and all that off the way I was before. So, but other people, they gonna just get whatever they get. Nah, that's not me. So again, I got to find somebody that's like that. You know what I'm saying? And what I used to tell people again, people based it, I'm like, yo, like, this is a big world. Like, you got to date. You know what I mean? If you're not dating, how you going to find out? So you deal with somebody, you see it ain't that, you got to move on to date again. You can't sit and be like, you know what, I'm chilling for the next 2 years. Like, I know women who be like, I'm chilling. But like they got dates. Like, I'm chilling until, and I kind of get it, but then, everybody be lying. So, you just say that, but you got somebody you rocking and rolling with on the low or whatever it is or something like that. So it's crazy. But again, like I said, the submissive, that just be willing to make the changes that are needed in regards to the person that you're dealing with. And also the person that you're dealing with, the changes that you're asking of that person or may be expecting of that person, also taking into consideration that that's not them. That may not be them. Some of it may be them, but they might, like I said, you might not just be that person. Huh?
It might be their representative.
No, it's like I said, okay, so a while back, I went out with this girl from Cali. She came over, flew over to New York, went out and stuff like that. And I never had to do the pull the chair out for a woman thing. Never had to do it. She was standing there and whatnot. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is she doing?
Right.
And then she was like, yo, like, da 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 da. I was like, okay, cool. For a second, I was tight. In my head, I was tight. It's all about sit the fuck down. But at the end of the day, had to respect it because if that's what you do, that's what you do. And I had to make the adjustment for the rest of the trip. You feel what I'm saying? I could have been also like, fuck that. I ain't doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you there with somebody, that's what it is. But I had to understand that. And people don't really understand. Like I said, people don't want to change. People want to be who they are. And they go, and like I said, I feel like in any relationship, you got to make some type of change in order for it to be successful. And it's little things like that. Like I would tell people, it's the little things. I tell women all the time, like, it'll never be the big things, but because the big things is just that. It's the little things that are gonna, like you said, hey, you gotta pick your clothes up, whatever it may be. Like you can't be the person to just come in and throw your clothes all over like you was when you was a bachelor or whatever it was. Or the same thing with a woman. Like that bathroom can't be the way it was when you were single. Like you live with a man now. Like you gotta get them eyelashes up. Like I said, we gotta put the toilet seat down. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, it gotta be. And like I said, in most situations with men, because a lot of men, especially just thinking about it now, a lot of men, especially if they're single men, whatever, like they're single parent households, they live with a mother who controlled how everything was in the household anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like me, I like to decorate, do all this around the house. So I like to have say so in that. There's plenty of guys who don't care, man. Whatever. This shit could be pink and yellow for all I care. Like just long as I got somewhere nice to sit down. You know what I'm saying? And women meet those kind of guys and it works with those type of situations. A woman who wants to control those things and a guy who don't care about that. And there's a lot. But like I said, the way the world has changed now, there's people who want to have say so in certain things. Like I said, I was watching Everybody Loves Raymond, and he was messing with his wife, and he was like, yo, like, I told you I ain't like these curtains, and you just brushed me off. And she was like, yeah, just whatever. Like, she brushed me off. And he's like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, but she like, you shouldn't have say so. Like, but I should have say so and stuff like that. If I don't like the curtains, I don't like the damn curtains. And she was like, why you don't wash the? She was like, why you don't wash the dishes? He's like, cause the fucking ugly ass curtains in front of the thing. I don't like washing it. So you know what I'm saying? Like, but for things like that, for guys in certain situations, it's considered to be sucker shit. You can't argue that. No, I would say so. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like them glasses. I don't like that pot, whatever. I want this type of pot set with the handle. We both cooking, not just you. If you just doing it, I get it. But
I love that though.
So that's just where we're at, man. You got to be able to make changes. You got to be able to, unless, like I said, you meet somebody who just like, you know what? Do you? I just live here. You know what I'm saying? But then again, when it's like that, you get that on another end. Mm-hmm. Hey, and like I said, I'm not even talking about cheating. Like, yo, I go with my boys to go play pool this night. We do what's that? My man do that all the time. Fantasy football. You know what I mean? You got to deal with that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but they don't ever equate those things to that. That's just supposed to be a given. Like I said, if I'm doing this and it's just flowing that way, you got to let it flow another way on that end. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes leave me alone. I'm watching the game. I'm gonna hear word.
Mimi?
I'm just laughing because just to add to with the curtains and stuff, I personally would prefer. I'm not saying I want a man to tell me what to wear, because that wouldn't even be a topic. But I like input. Like if I want to hear, if you know what, that nah, put it with this. Like I want to hear your fashion input in a good way, like to make me look better. You know what I mean? Like, because maybe it's not, oh no, these don't go with that. Wear this with this instead, and that's gonna, yeah. That, like, I like stuff like that. So I kind of get when you said about the curtains. That's funny. Um, but a lot of females, like I said, a lot of females don't like that. They wanna, oh, you
They
telling me
take that personal.
you telling
They'll
me what,
take that personal.
like, yeah, it's I don't like that too much. Even me, like I would like if if I see you with a shirt, and I think the next shirt looks better, I'm gonna say, well, why don't you wear this with that instead? That would kind of look, more better for the day or for the occasion or whatever the case is.
Because in those cases, is again, it's okay for y'all to correct us, but we cannot. When we correct you, we're judging.
Or
You know what
being
I'm saying? Like you said, if you going out one day, like yo, you get that. Like remember back in the days, like you might be going to an event. A dad might want to wear his motherfucking New England Patriots tie. He like hell no. Like you
no,
know what I'm saying? Like nah, you ain't wearing that. This, that, and the third. But like I said, if it was on the other end, then
it's a
it
problem.
becomes different when it's that way. When you want to correct, like I said, yo, man, you got to get a better job. You got to be able to provide more. Level one, like you good where you at in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, even with women who are making a certain type of money and maybe doing better than the man and stuff like that, so on and so forth. Again, because they're doing, and this would always kill me with that, right? Now, if you're making more money than a guy and this, that, and the third, and you don't want to deal with him or whatever it is, again, you're quit. So you feel like you're in control of the relationship. You feel like, like a woman, like if she is dating someone who makes less, like she feels like so how you feel some type of way when a man makes more? And like those are guys you want to be with and they wanted to run a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like you make $100,000. This dude makes $60,000 or whatever it is. You make more. You feel like you kind of call the shots on a lot of things. But now, if it was another guy who was that way, you might not feel like you don't feel that's right. You don't feel like everything should be called under his law and stuff like that because he makes more. You should have some type of input. But in a lot of situations, not a lot, some, you have it where, like I said, women who make more, they dominate everything from whatever goes on. You know what I'm saying? Because they're in control of the money.
Right.
So we not doing this. We going on a trip here. We doing this. You can't do that or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you do have the ones that make the amount of money and are still submissive as well too. That still don't there's women who make the money but still be like, you know what? My man is still the head of the household. I
The
don't
head of
live with him for that. So
Right.
again, that just goes back to the overall of you got to date. Like you got to be out there to see if whatever it is. And the same for like even for myself with certain things like I'm dating, but I'm not dating because and even when I was coming up, like there is a certain type of woman and female I like, and for me to be involved with them, I got to be to where I feel I need to be in certain spaces to move how I want to move and stuff like that. So again, if whatever your taste is, continue to push forward. So many people settle and say this or play a role for a little while and then it fades because they don't want to play that part no more to get whatever it is they get from this particular guy or this particular girl. You know what I mean? Like they say with most men, most dudes do what they do to have a roof over their head. You know what I'm saying? But then if whatever's going on in that house starts getting, they need to be out. They got to find another chick or even get their own. And in a lot of cases, dudes, like I said, I can't say that because it's just the stereotype again. Like you got a job, you got a job. Everybody could get their own. That go back for our era. It was more like, not to say that the drug dealers, people who couldn't get stuff in their name and all that stuff like that. Like it's a new day and age. Everybody got credit situations and stuff. If you're dealing with somebody like that, yeah, you get that type of life. But if you're dealing with somebody who he or she they got their little shit together, things like that shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Again, you pay 1,000 over here, I pay 1,000 over here. All right, maybe we go somewhere and pay 1,000 together. And you keep 5, I keep 5 or whatever it is. Or we take that 1,000, now we go somewhere 2,000. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. They look at it as, well, if we go into 2,000, you should be taking care of 2,000 as far as the man is concerned. But you do meet women that are like that. It's like, yo, because I hear a bunch of, if I only had somebody to go half of me on the bills, and then when a dude talk about going half on the bills, they be like, I ain't doing that. But they might have just posted about that, like, I wish I had somebody to help me with these bills. But then when you get a dude, you want to pay all of them. You don't want the help no more. When you were single, you wish you had somebody to help. Now you got them? Nah, I want it all now.
Jay, you want to hit us with the closing statements?
Yeah. So I think that I mean, man, there was a lot of good points y'all hit. To all the people out there that they come across these other podcasts that they try to impress upon you that as a woman you should chase the dollar, and as a guy you should wave your dollar. Get ready for a lonely journey, because at the end of the day, if you ain't shit, you ain't gonna buy security in your heart.
Yeah.
You got to work on you. And I think we need to let go of the negative connotations that we attach to these words. It's perfectly fine for a partner in the relationship to be the more submissive of the two. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we need to stop trying to just negatively, indirectly destroy people's relationships based on the fact that those that are screaming in a podcast, nobody loves them. Nobody wants to be with them for them. So they get on these fucking outlets and they start telling everybody else what's wrong with them. And then when you really research about the individual, they don't got what they telling you should have. I think that you should be a good person. You should work on self. And like Mike said, when you get with someone while you're learning each other, you should be willing to change for the relationship. I 100% believe in that. You both should work towards making the relationship better. Wholeheartedly, I believe that. But if you're going to follow every person who's telling you all these imaginary, empowered, negative stamped piece of advice out there, listen, you can always be a guest at somebody else's wedding. It's cool, man.
Yeah, true.
Maybe.
Kind of to balance off of what you guys just said, I wish that women who's listening, you know, be more aware of, like you said, what it is to be submissive, and just work on yourself. Do the best you could do as a woman for yourself, and make a change. If you want to, meet that person halfway, make some changes. And like you said, not listening to everybody with the negative in the air. Usually misery loves company, so a lot of times that's what happens. If they see you doing good and you're working with this person and everything's working out because you're being submissive, and then all of a sudden it's something bad, just ignore all that you know talk in the air. Yeah, but just be careful of the words, and how you interpret words. That's more or less what I would want to say to any female listening. Like, it's okay to let a man lead. It's okay to help them guide you into being a better version of you from yesterday. But it's like you said, it's security, trust, everything falls into place. But I think me as a woman, I have to do that. I have to be the one to let the reins go. Let the man be the man. Let him guide. And then that's being submissive.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mike, go
mm,
ahead.
mm.
Oh, nah, short and sweet, man. Do what you feel works for between you and whoever that person is. It ain't no set definition. Y'all create whatever your dynamic is, that how you want to move and create your relationship. It may not be ideal to other people, but as long as you and whoever your people you're dealing with understand what's going on, and you don't let those outside influences, you know, chip away at what y'all got going on, that's all that matters. So your submissive can be different from my submissive, from Jay's submissive, me, from Clem, everybody. But it's still being submissive as long as you and your person are in agreement and you're comfortable with it.
Mhm.
100%. Um, you guys shared some good information, some great insight. And for me, my final take is I think understanding that this is going to always be an ongoing thing. You know, people always defer. There's always going to be the outside noise. There's going to be tons of influencers, podcasters that tell you how you supposed to run your said relationship. I think, uh, you know, we all have to understand everyone is unique in their own way. Everyone's dynamic is unique. Um, Being respectful of each other's time first and foremost is a big ingredient. I don't think people really understand. Like, it's easy for someone to be turned off. It's hard to regain trust. It's hard to regain the respect. It's hard to regain the love. You might think you might be doing something. You might think you're standing your ground, whether you're man or female, but it doesn't hide the fact that someone will take those words or those actions and they will suffer. You might say that you are positioning yourselves for a greater good, a better pasture. Uh, Let me tell you something. If you're not willing to put in the work for anything, you will suffer. You will lose. Jason alluded to it. You will be a guest at someone's wedding, or you will hear about someone giving birth. You will suffer. It's a slow death, it's a lonely road. In this life, you can have the attitude that you are independent to the utmost. It doesn't really mean anything. You're saying that to yourself. You can look in the mirror and say whatever the hell you want to say, but until you're faced in front of that person, whether you love them or you're introducing yourself to them, it's hard. It's very different. You have to be aware of what is at stake. There's always something at stake. Whether she loves you or you love her or you guys are just butting heads. I think what needs to be talked about when you argue with someone, you have to learn how to argue. You have to fight the right way. I think things can get out of hand, very nasty. And what's the rule of thumb? You can always say something that you will always regret. It's always there because you can't rewind time and you can never take back what you said. There's abuse of every kind, and yes, men get abused too. But I think in these statutes, we look at things where we only refer to these things as a hurt factor, never in a great light. Everyone wants to look at things in the negative light, but what we need to do is start looking at things more in more positive setting, understanding that you have to build a foundation for it to grow. At the end of the day, you and your person are the only two that are the CEOs of your empire. So if you're not willing to put in the work, you're wasting your goddamn time. That concludes episode 17 for us. Please like, share, subscribe. I want to thank Mimi for joining us
Thank
for
you.
tonight's episode.
Yes.
With the fellas, I love you guys dearly. Mike and Jay.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I am
Same
Clem
here.
Boogie, and we are straight to it. All right,
Bye.
take it easy.